We're joined now by the journalist and presenter Dame Esther Rantzen. Esther, it's great to speak to you today on this very sad day. Your reflections, your reaction when you heard the news?
Well, it is interesting, isn't it? Normally, when you, first of all, if anybody is watching me, I must apologise for my frivolous hat and my dressing gown. I thought I was on the radio, not television. So, unfortunately, this is the real me. Bed hair, dressing gown.
That's all right, Esther. It's okay.
Right. Very kind of you. I think normally when there's the death of somebody who's been in public life and has lived such a long life and such a successful life, you just feel a celebration of their achievements. But there's no question that I felt heartbroken. And you see it everywhere. You see people feeling, as I felt, unexpectedly. We were in tears. I was sitting in my kitchen, I heard the news, and I couldn't believe that I was actually weeping over the death of this remarkable person. And you know why I think it is? I mean, we know about the formal achievements. We know how she conducted her fantastic role in the Commonwealth and on the political stage and so on. But there was an element that I don't think anybody has quite identified of the joy she brought. Yeah. She wanted us to be happy. For her, that was the point of the Platinum Jubilee. It wasn't celebrating her. It was creating moments when people could get together in street parties or in the Mall. I was lucky enough to be part of the pageant, and I saw the wonderful, exuberant joy of the crowd. And that wonderful woman, very frail as she was, living in Windsor Castle, went to the trouble of getting the hair, the makeup, the dress, the hat, and coming onto the balcony at the end to wave to us, because it wouldn't have been right without us being able to express to her the way we felt about her and for her to see that joy. And when she was jumping out of James Bond's helicopter, or when she was secreting a marmalade sandwich presented to her by Paddington in her handbag and then tapping along with the Queen anthem, she was giving us joy. She was giving us happiness, and that's part of the role as she saw it. And we're so grateful to what she did, because she really did lift our spirits at sad times. I mean, what about that television speech she made?
Oh, the pandemic one. I think that to me is the thing. You know, if you had to characterise the great moment in her reign, it's amazing it took place so late in it, because the last three or four words, "we will meet again." We played it earlier, and you get goosebumps when you hear it.
Absolutely. And she was deliberately speaking to her generation who had lived through the war and who had sung along with Vera Lynn, and I know how much she admired Vera Lynn. But she was also speaking to all of us who'd been separated from the people we loved and cared about and couldn't go to their birthdays, their weddings, their funerals. And she was reaching out to all of us. She had that great gift. But as you say, she was like very fine wine. She improved with age. She got more and more spontaneous.
Yeah.
We saw her sense of humor. She was, it's a huge personal loss, I think, for everyone that lived through her years on the throne.
And I can hear it in your voice, Esther. You're feeling it now.
I am, but I'm determined. I always stick my nails into the palm of my hand to stop myself, because she was not a sentimental woman. I mean, the only time you ever saw her moved was when they decommissioned the royal yacht, Britannia, because obviously that meant so much to her and her family. I suppose it gave her the nearest she ever got to privacy when she could go off in that yacht. But the rest of the time, she held herself together at moments. Well, we remember when Princess Diana's funeral happened and the cortege passed Buckingham Palace and there was the Queen dressed in black, and she bowed to the coffin with great dignity and courtesy. And, you know, it was a very important, significant moment, bowing to the coffin as Princess Diana went by. That was a different kind of tragedy. That was a young life cut far too short.
Yeah. And actually, though, and I think that her reaction to that, and as you say, she got more spontaneous, she got more personal, I think, as the years went by, and that's a tremendous legacy. Esther, what a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining us and joining us in your hat as well. It's lovely to speak to you as ever. That's Dame Esther Rantzen.